Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of TOOP TV. And what a great show it is. We've got Deputy Premier Kevin Foley talking about the budget and a bit more about the impact of that on the property market. RP data, we make the call, get the latest on what's happening with the property market and the statistical geniuses. We also look at the 10-point sellers plan. This is a very important document, and we'll run through what's important when looking for your real estate agent to sell your property. Now in SA's finest, we go inside this magnificent large property in Hawthorn and Unley Park, and you'll love the tour of that. And remember, we're live and interactive, so get the calls going or emails going, and we'll answer your questions at the end of the show. It is a very busy time at the moment in the market. Spring has sprung with this bubble of property. Last weekend it just exploded. We had something like 1,300 open inspections 2 weeks ago, and last weekend 2,168 I think it was. So we're keen to see how it rolls out this coming Saturday. Also today in the show we're talking about some experts, talking with experts on what's happening with the marketing, and now for the inside story on what's happening in the decline of first home buyers. Let's go and see what they say in the streets.
Less government incentives, rising interest rates and higher home values. It's enough to put anyone off buying their first home. In fact, figures released by RP Data show South Australia has suffered the third highest decline in first home buyer finance commitments over the past year. The state budget provided some assistance for buyers.
Now what I've done is I've taken the $4,000 off of the first homeowners grant for established, but we've doubled it for new builds.
But failed to deliver any relief on stamp duty. Not surprisingly, the rapid decline in first home buyers aligns with a 17.2% surge in home values across capital cities since the global financial crisis. This rise in costs, along with generation-wise additional financial woes, is allowing for other buyers to control the market.
I guess money is an issue at the moment for everybody, and then studying, a lot of people are, transport and location is a big issue.
Time is now for investors rather than first home buyers.
But the first home buyer drought could be over soon, as strong economic conditions, low levels of unemployment and high levels of consumer confidence encourage prospective buyers to enter the market again.
So when we get busy in spring, there's a lot of things that actually have to occur, including the background, which is the marketing, the brochures, the ads that go in the paper on the weekend, and all of the different collateral that represents and actually becomes part of your sale. Now, behind the scenes, you've got the sales people in the front, and then behind the scenes there's a lot of people that make things happen and make properties look great and present them perfectly. And one of those gems in the industry and one of those gorgeous people who just makes our sales guys' life easier is none other than Jen Drew, who heads up TOOP+TOOP, our advertising studio.
Hi Anthony, how you going?
How are you, Jen?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Explain to me what you do and what's all this TOOP+TOOP?
Sure, well I look after TOOP+TOOP, the advertising division of TOOP+TOOP, and I think you came up with the slogan many years ago that TOOP+TOOP was making noise for your business, so that's pretty much what we do. We have a dedicated team of graphic designers, Mac operators, and of course Brad, our photographer, who just make our clients' properties look beautiful.
Now, Jen, why would we have an in-house? Explain to people why we're in-house rather than outsourcing it.
The beautiful thing about having it in-house is that we are dedicated, we just concentrate on TOOP+TOOP and TOOP+TOOP's clients. So we don't have other real estate companies that we're distracted by or other external clientele. It's really just all about TOOP+TOOP, the brand and our clientele.
How are you coping with the bubble that's moving through the market right now?
I'll tell you what, it has been frantic the last couple of weeks. Brad, our photographer, we've had him, I think, running around like a slightly crazy photographer. He's doing about 40 to 45 shoots per week, including night shoots nearly every night. Previously, a busy week's normally about 30 properties a week, so it's a huge increase there. And also across the press, our Saturday papers the last couple of weeks have been, and including this week, we're just putting that paper together as we speak, up to seven and a bit pages, which is huge.
And what about the TOOP TV guys? They're doing 2 SA's finest, only ever meant to be 1. We're doing 2 at the moment.
They are. Well, it's just there's so much beautiful property on the market, we're just trying to capture it all.
Now, 2 new publications we've just launched.
Yes.
One of them is the 10-point sellers checklist. Just tell me very briefly about that.
So the 10-point sellers checklist, there to help sellers decide which agency to choose and which salesperson to choose rather than having a bit of a hit-miss approach. Takes you through all the 10 points, and then in the middle we've got this beautiful little scorecard, which I know you like a golfing scorecard.
Exactly, and that's your little gem, Jen.
Yeah, so we tick off, pretty much sums up the whole booklet for sellers to be able to go through, tick off the points or cross them, and help them make their decision at the end of the day.
Now, Jen, your network is being launched this week.
Yes.
We had a bit of a rundown last weekend. Tell me about that.
Your network, social networking is just going off at the moment, has been for the last couple of years. I know the figures in Australia, there's about 9 million people using Facebook, which is just huge. So us trying to find the best way to market a client's home to their friends and family. So it's through a trusted source with your network, and your network just makes it so simple. They get a little email, it clicks them through in a couple of steps, and there's their property up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or even emailed out to all their contacts. And how did that go, Anthony? I know you were in Sydney just yesterday at a conference. How was Your Network received?
We're the stars. And for those of you in Sydney that were at the conference and listening, because I know a lot of you would be today, that was a great conference, and we had a lot of discussion about social networking, a lot of discussion about some of the things that are happening, and this Your Network, speaking to the guys, it is going to be the way of the future. But obviously we're not getting into the traditional marketing. This is on top of, and the beauty of it is it's virtually free. We could potentially get to hundreds of thousands of people through this system, because it's got a little wizard in there that sends it off to all your friends, and then your friends can then send it on to their friends. So this is a very cool new product. So look forward to that, and you'll be hearing about it. Anyone who's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or have got email contact lists, this is the go. Right, now a couple of other things just quickly. What's the next big project for you?
Next big project for us will be the launch of TOOP coming up very shortly. I think we're looking to launch that next week.
Next week.
Absolutely, so stay tuned for that. Every Apple fan out there, which I know there's plenty of us around the place, for your iPhone and also your iPad.
Jen Toop, thank you. Oh, Jen Toop. Jen Drew, she feels like
there's too many Jens.
I know, they're all Jens. So let's go now and look at what's happening out in the market.